I would like to call upon stage our first keynote speaker, Mr. Benjamin Itter, designer and creative director, Lebenskleidung, Germany, and strategic advisor, GFI.
So, good morning. Is it still okay to say good morning? I suppose so. We need it a little longer than before. So, I say good morning to you. And I'm very happy that all of you came, all of you students especially, from so many different institutes this time, not only from Pune, but from various cities across India. And I would like to thank especially Ms. Nanavati for giving me some kantil, because you can hear that my voice is a little bit torn, but now it's much better. Thank you. So, I'm speaking about a little overall topic today, and to give you an introduction of why at all we are here. As you see, the presentation is called Green Fashion India, the need for sustainable methods in the Indian textile industry, and I want to give you a little bit, as said, like an overview, why are we here and what is the topic at all. Just the next, please. So that's me, as you can see. I'm co-founder, managing director of Lebenskleidung. I keep it short, you heard it before. We are a wholesaler for organic sustainable fabrics from Berlin in Germany. We are serving people like you who start businesses in design, who have the needs for fabrics which are made in a sustainable way. We mainly work with organic cotton, also with organic wool, organic jute, organic linen, many different things, all encompassed by the fact that these fabrics are certified. So, and we stock these fabrics so one can start from 1 meter onwards. The next. This is what we heard already, so we go for the next. So, there's a little mistake in there. The Consortium of Green Fashion India was founded in 2010 already, as we heard, but the topic remains the same. It's about increasing the awareness about sustainable practices and sustainable fashion practices in India with 3 topics: the fashion research, fashion enhancement, and fashion education. And the next. So, and the question here is, why to increase awareness about sustainable fashion practices with an emphasis on India? Why should we care at all, like how these things are done? What is it all about? The next. And why is it that we are here? So we are here, and especially you hear this from an outsider, because for me, coming from a country with 680 million people, it's quite fascinating what a powerhouse your country is, your India is in terms of textiles. You're reaching back to such rich tradition of textiles, even to the Harappan culture 4,000 years back. You're one of the cradles of civilization here, and you have multiple zillions of techniques how to produce textiles. Going to 2018, where we are now, you're one of the leaders in the global textile production. That is, you're the world's largest producer of raw cotton, the second largest producer of cotton yarn, the second largest world's producer of cellulosic fiber, the second largest producer of silk after China, the 4th largest producer of synthetic fiber, the largest producer of jute, and the 3rd biggest garment producer of the world. That means you take 6 billion people on this planet into account, and everyone needs at least a shirt, a pair of shoes, a pair of trousers, and something else. So you can be sure that what they are wearing all across the globe might have touched your India. Next. So the Indian textile industry is also very important for your economy, because like 26% of the manufacturing sector is made of the Indian textile industry. 14% of total industry production of India is from this textile industry. 18% of industrial employment, textile industry. 15% of total export earnings. And speaking about textiles, we don't speak only about what we see, what is nice, what comes in the point of sale, in the shop, at the end of the production. No, we speak about 45 million people in India, producing it directly, 68 million people indirectly. That means we have to speak about responsibility. Responsibility in how we produce, responsibility of how we treat the people who produce the stuff we are wearing. That is why we are here. And given that it's 4% adding to the GDP, it's also a big business factor, of course, and gives livelihood to millions of people. So, looking at the fabric pie, it is quite interesting, again, from a European perspective, that your fabric production, talking about did what you need to produce a cloth at all. Looking at the fabric production, it's extremely varied. You have the hand-spun, hand-woven part, which is artisanal, which is many times unorganized also still, on the one hand, and you have the high sophisticated mills and spinning, weaving, and so on sector, which is serving the global markets. And the most interesting fact, you saw how many artisans came here and how many artisans got the prices. The most interesting fact is that 95% of handmade textiles in the world, 95%, maybe a little more even, Hemang said, 95% comes from India. You have 4.3 million handloom weavers. This is small countries in the European Union don't have that many citizens. So you have a whole country of handloom weavers in India. And being responsible for those handloom weavers is also very, very important in terms of how they dye their stuff, how they print their stuff, how they get livelihood, and how culture is preserved as well. How the beautiful culture of so many arts and crafts you just saw today is preserved and brought up to the next level of quality and into the 21st century. The next. So, speaking fashion, there's also a major shift happening in the world. You see, back in the days, you had major consumption hubs being the Western countries, the European Union, US, Canada, Australia, the so-called West and developed world, and the major production countries, they were in Asia, like India, Bangladesh, China. Still, this is a fact, but today, as you can see, just in your lifetime, in your lifespan, a lot of things have changed. Consumerism has hit India hard. Consumerism is big. You see all these malls coming up and so on. So what is there is a shift that major production hubs of the past emerge as powerful consumption hubs themselves. That is not only India, that is also China, which are making up to two-fifths, nearly 3/5 of the world population. The next. Speaking about that, you have a population of 1.35 billion. I mean, with the Aadhaar card, you might exactly know how many people are there now, even if it has some difficulties, I read. And the very interesting fact is that 800 million people, as per now, are under the age of 35. And 800 million people in India are about to consume. 800 million people might enter the middle class soon. 800 million people want more than one shirt, one trouser, one pair of shoes. They want to take part in that what is running in TV. They want to take part in life, in the advertisement, in the marketing, and so on. And speaking about that, next, please. You see that there's a huge scope to spend more on apparel. What you see here is the per capita spend on apparel statistics. Projection to 2025. You see the average Australian person spends $1,131 on apparel per year, average. The average Indian spends $37 on average. Of course, you have a lot of people who spend much more, but you have a big portion of people in the country that is spending way less. But it's increasing. You see from 2013 to 2025, it's nearly tripling, and you will see even more growth, I'm quite sure. This is just a projection. What does that mean? The next, please. That means also that the retail sector will grow, and this is the organized retail sector. Because mainly companies which have been successful in the West, but also those in India who adopt the business models from there, they see a large chance and opportunity for profit, maybe. It's not about culture or beauty or fashion these days anymore so much in the textile industry. It's a huge, profitable business. That means shareholders are coming in whose only interest is to make money, whose only interest is to make more money. That is investment funds, that is big corporations, that is conglomerates who have no real boss in the sense of you can go there and say, hello, why don't you care for your workforce? Hello, why don't you care for the environment? No, they are having changing CEOs, and their only mission is to do business. And these type of people are pouring into India also. And this is a big problem, because speaking about responsibility, we will see shortly why we have to be responsible. The next. There's a big challenge in this modernization which you are going through, we all in the world are going through with the modernization in India. There's a massive demand for apparel evolving in India itself. Again, you can see that. Just the older of you think back the past 30 years, look into these cities. Not only apparel, every consumer good, right? People are buying and shopping and going out, and malls are growing, and people are made to believe they have needs that they don't have really, but they're made to believe to buy, to get, to buy, to be happy, which is a Trugschluss, we say in Germany. It's not making you happy if you consume, but they want to make you believe that you are happy when you consume. This is happening in fashion as well. And also the exports are growing. If you look to the central government, we have to export more, we have to make more money and so on, which is a noble cause, obviously, because you want to bring people into work, right? You want to uplift the social strata. We heard this from Mr. Rahul Mehta. That's exactly the point. Having economic sustainability, social sustainability, and having a job at all. Have a job is the most important thing to feed your family. But those who give someone a job and give him a crappy job without dignity in order to make money for just an anonymous corporation sitting somewhere in the US, that's not the concept. So it's not black and white here. We should always look into that. Who is creating jobs? How is someone creating jobs? On whose behalf is someone creating jobs? Because in Europe you can buy a €2 t-shirt in some shop, which is done under hard labor, hard force, hard things for the environment also, and it's maybe thrown away 1 week later. And this is madness. So we need a revolution in the way we are thinking about clothing production, especially if India is consuming as much as the West is doing, we'll have a huge problem. The next. What is sustainability at all? It means to sustain, to uphold, to maintain, and mainly also to avoid to cause irreversible damage to the resources of the nature. But as you heard, it means also sustainability. It also has to do about dignity. And we will see the pillars, the dignity in producing a garment, and why I'm going to work, how do I treat my workforce, and so on. So it's not only about the planet, which is up there foremost, because if you go to Tirupur, the rivers are very dirty and no one wants to live there. It's obviously also about that, but it's also about the social cause. Yeah, next, please. So that's something you might have heard so many times. The fashion industry is the second most polluting industry in the world. And you as young professionals in the future, and we as professionals today, we have a responsibility for all these things I mentioned. Next. Some quick facts. Speaking cotton, speaking about sustainability and speaking about textile industry, you always speak about the whole supply chain. You speak about fiber to fashion. You speak about the raw material, you speak about the processing, that is the weaving, the spinning, the knitting. Then you speak about the wet processing, the dyeing, the finishing, and so on. And then you speak about the garmenting, where social factors come in. Indian scenario, speaking about raw material, cotton in general is only making 2.4% of the world's cropland, but 10% of all agricultural chemicals and 25% of insecticides are used on that little cropland. India is the largest cotton producer in the world. 1/3 of the worldwide cotton farmers are living in your country. And especially if you're from the south or wherever, you read about the farmer suicides, you read about all these problems, you read about dependencies of genetically modified organisms, all things which we will speak about in these 2 days, all things we will tackle also. So it's very important, how is this stuff produced also? Cotton is not by itself natural. If we spray poison onto it, if the person who sprays the poison onto it gets cancer, that has nothing to do with sustainability. So 100% cotton says nothing. It's the question, how is this cotton produced? And it doesn't have to be 100% certified or something, but you have to know how it is produced. Can the farmer have other plants in between? Can he secure his livelihood? Can he grow other things? Or is everything dead in this field because he sprays so much poison that only this cotton survives? What is the price for a t-shirt? What is the price for that? Why do we spray poison on that? Why do we kill farmers for a t-shirt, if not for profit? That's a question. And the next, please. So, and again, we speak about people. Cotton in India gives livelihood to estimated 5.8 million people, cotton farmers directly, and those involved in this industry, 40 to 50 million again. That's nearly the population of Spain. working only in cotton. That's a lot of people. And we as professionals have responsibility for those people. We shouldn't forget them. We should always think about them when we produce something. We shouldn't just take material for granted. We should think how long this little plant takes to grow, how much effort and hard work it takes this man or woman to pluck it and to put it into our systems. That's hard work. We should give dignity to that work also, in terms of financial things, but also in terms of how we treat these people. Then, this is only speaking cotton, then the big evil of our times can be chemical-made fibers. Many advocates saying that is all nice, but it uses a lot of poison again to produce polyester. You need crude oil. You need so many toxins are released into the river, so many toxins are put out, which inevitably land in our bodies also. So here again, speaking only of the fiber level, of the raw material, we have choices of doing good or doing bad. And we should learn how to do good, how to do good. We will see many shiny examples how to do good. Dr. Bosco with the dyeing thing of biodye, or you see Lensing who use the viscose, or you see organic cotton farmers, and. So there are many examples how to do better. The next. Fast fashion. This is what we heard. What is the term fast fashion? Fast fashion is exactly what I said, that big corporations make us believe we need more and more and more because they can make money out of it. Back in the days, you had 2 seasons per year. You had autumn, spring, summer, and autumn, winter, maybe some in-between seasons. Today, you have 52 micro-seasons per year. That is, the stuff which you see in the shop might be already outdated 10 days later, and the new stuff is already produced. And the problem of this is that the new stuff needs to be sold as well. So the old stuff is not sold to a cheap price only, it is burned often. It lands on the landfill. So a woman somewhere in Bangladesh or in India, wherever, is producing this under hard labor, the cotton farmer is suffering. All these people involved in the whole supply chain have put such hard stuff into it, and then the garment is burned in the end of the day. What is this? This is cynicism deluxe. We should not allow that, because this corporation wants to make more money. What does the woman think? She puts so much hard work into this garment and garmenting it, and then it's simply burned. That's a slap in the face of all of us, I think. The next. So, and just a quick thing of the rise of fast fashion. Just look, since 2000, this has been a problem. The production of fashion doubled nearly, with the leads by Zara, H&M, and so on coming in. The next. And the clothing production doubled, and the average person buys 60% more items of clothing, but keeps them for half as long. That is also a big problem, right? So you buy more, but keep it as half as long, and more and more and more and more is coming. And this is just in the West, and this is just beginning in India also. So you should think twice if you want to support this or not, or how we can change this model. And on the other hand is also used clothing, which is sent to Africa, and the whole African textile industry goes down the drain because it's much cheaper to just wash it and fold it and send it there instead of producing something there. So it's swarming the world with a lot of clothing. The next. And the sales have doubled, of course, there's a lot of money to be made, that's all what I said. The next. And this whole bunch of clothing is left there without all these ingredients, what I said, no dignity, so often toxins and so on. The next. So Gandhi, the earth provides enough to satisfy every man's needs, but not every man's greed. This is just a perfect quote for that, I think, that stands for itself. The next, please. So we need a fashion revolution, that's why we are here, and we wish to see a fashion revolution also from India with many4 The next. I get signs I'm coming to an end soon, 2 minutes. Again, Gandhi, because you can quote him simply very good. He's a very wise man. No, we have to quote him also. Back, please. Can we go back? You must be the change you wish to see in the world. That's it also. We can talk here for hours and hours and hours. In the end, it's the question, what do? You individually. You cannot change the whole thing in talking, but only in action. And I wish that each and every of you thinks about when you produce clothing, how to act in a way that is nice. Next. So the mission of the consortium is to increase this awareness and to promote green fashion. We saw that. The next. And we are calling all fashion revolutionaries. There's also Fashion Revolution Day, always in April. You can check fashionrevolution.org. All these topics are tackled as well. The next. So our vision is to be the leading platform in that. We want to connect all of you, and this time the Green Fashion India has so many new experts coming in. It's a very exciting time. We think to see what is going on and how we, or you in India, can make the change. And to make the change is very simple. If you look at yourself, the next, you just be good. And you be good in what you do, and you be good in how you do it. And just think about, do you want how you treat the others who produce the clothing? You would like to be treated like that, or how you would like to be treated? It's very simple, and it comes from the heart. And with this, I'd like to thank you. The next, please, the last. I'd like to thank you for the little time you gave me, and I'm happy to discuss these things further with you, and I hope that was not too much time and too boring for you. Thank you.